What's up? You know who I be? The motherfucking zombie / Lucas. Hey, what's up, you guys? I know it's Thursday. Most Thursdays can be really mundane. I'm actually going out to a metal show my friend invited me to. Just go hang out and see some bands I haven't seen. Always open for that. Love doing that. I kind of want to talk a little bit about family. What does family represent to you? You got your blood family, and then sometimes you can gain a camaraderie, a circle of people, which I have done in Salt Lake, and I consider them family. We help each other out when we can, and we're always there to talk, and I think that's the biggest thing, is having somebody to talk to. And if you can relate, that's even better too, because that's when we're going through tough times, that's what we need: somebody to talk to, and somebody to be there, and somebody to be real, with us when we're in a darker mind space. But the thing with family that I've been watching, and it's somewhat in my family, and I know it happens in a lot of other families. Some people just got it really bad to where, like, they feel like they're being bullied in their own home. I've seen it with some people, and it's like, it just blows my mind how people are okay with that. How people can take your weaknesses and your past events and just use them against you just because they feel like shit about themselves, or they haven't healed from whatever trauma was brought upon them. It just really blows my mind how I've heard some people say some shit to their kids that just fucking really, and I don't know, I don't get it. I don't have my own kids. I do have a couple stepkids. Well, they're no longer my stepkids, but I still consider them my family. And they have their struggles too, and their little addictions and things they like to do that might not be as healthy. And I really can't stop them from doing anything, but I'm not going to downgrade them because I think they should be doing this or that. And I don't know, I experienced a little bit of that when I quit trucking. My stepmom and it was for the reason of, I want to get my medical card, because I found that after I quit for 10 years everything, and then I just went back to smoking, it actually leveled me out. Like, all the other shit, like the alcohol mix and all that, was not allowing what the medical weed's supposed to do for me. And I had to find out that the hard way by being put on probation, and they said, not one drop. And so I like the results of being able to take my medical THC and not drink, because that, you get into music, it's kind of like, everybody knows what that's about, but it doesn't have to be, because I've been in bands and areas where, I don't really have to get all. I'm trying to create a moment, and one of the best remedies to help create moments, if you get stuck in your head, or if you have ADHD or PTSD, and everybody's different. I'm not saying this works for everybody, but for me, it's like I'm more focused, and I create moments. When you think about as a kid or as a teenager, or even recently, how you get caught up in these moments that, for that moment, it makes life all that much better. It makes everything just better. And it's only a moment. Yeah, it doesn't last very long sometimes, but we can continue. At least I've been able to continue creating those moments, and it's by focusing on what my true intentions are in life, and figuring out what exercises or, what my maintenance is going to look like on a daily basis, because I have to do something daily that is going to help me resonate to the day, to the moment, and not only that, I just really don't have to force stuff like I used to. Like months ago, I was in a relationship and we were trying to make things work, but it was a godsend that, my probation officer wouldn't let me live there, because one thing, it wasn't really a good place to live in the first place, just because the vibes and stuff, but and forcing doesn't help anything. It's one thing if you work towards stuff, like actually put in some work, but like without having to go to a negative emotion to make something happen. Because if you have to put in that much energy, then it's probably either not right for you, or it's not the right time for you to be in that situation or whatever, so it's it's tricky. That's why I think my maintenance has been ever evolving, from doing certain exercises to moving up to doing other things that I've never tried before, something that's gonna bring forth my wishes and dreams, something that's gonna put me in that mindset and that frequency in order to receive it. Because that's the biggest part about leveling up, is you just got to be ready to level up before you can level up. And I feel like my daily maintenance is the things I do on a regular to that the intention is to create balance and to create fluency of my spirit, and not be manically happy all the time, but just being a normal, like, I'm a jokester anyway, so a lot of times, at my work, and I did put a little short on my channel and one of my co-workers, losing his shit, and me being like, I'm that guy. That's why they have me here, because you have to have the yin and the yang. You gotta have the fucking crazy fucking young kid, and then you got the older dude who just, I'm just kind of like, I don't give a fuck, but I do, but to a degree, I don't have to take life so seriously all the time, because when I do, it's just like, it really can be a bummer. I mean, because most of life is a fucking joke anyways. Just everything that we do, everything that we've allowed this society to brainwash us with, because we don't have any direction. So you hope you can trust someone, to lead this country where it needs to go. And I won't get into that because I'm not political, but I will get into I'll always get into the programming. A lot of us are programmed to think a certain way and be a certain way, and I think when you're programmed, it causes people to be non-acceptant to people who are not like them, if that makes people who are not like them, which equals, there's a difference between how I believe and how you believe, and I'm not going to accept you if you believe this way. And I see family members go through that a lot, like the belief system and the programming backed upon that belief system. It's so deep and embedded that you can't even see that you have been, because that's just the way everybody says, well, that's just the way life is. Life is what you make it. Totally. You're in a shitty situation and somebody offers you an out because you feel like, there is, and deep within your heart that there's just no way you're going to be able to progress and things and go outside the box to do different things you haven't done before, no matter what the fear might feel like. I mean, because the fear can get greater to the point where you're like, later, when the fear gets greater, you say later, move on, regroup, ground. Get away from you have to get away. And that's why I've been living in my car so long. It's because, not because I don't have places I could go, I just don't necessarily want to be in someone's energy all the time. Because when you live with somebody, especially in their house, you're in their energy because they're all over it. It's very hard. But nowadays, to where it's at, and I know me personally, I don't make enough money to where I could get my own place if I wanted to. I mean, it would be all the money. I would have to probably sell my car, take the bus home into work, and then if I want to do anything on the weekends, of course, rely on rides, which wouldn't be a big deal. Got tons of friends, so. But at the same instance, you know, I've had some bad experiences, and I try not to let the bad experiences control my moments in these nows, because, you know, I got a good friend who offered me a place to stay when I get off probation, and he's a really good guy. His wife's cool, his kids are cool, and so it's 4 people live in the house, but they got a really nice room. And the only thing I was thinking is like, shit, I'm saving so much money not paying rent and not having to drive to work, because if I go anywhere, I go like a mile up the street from my work most of the time, unless I go out to an event like I am tonight or go visit, you know. But mainly during the weekdays, I just kind of stick around work. Why not? Never late, and I usually always know what's going on, and you know, it works for now. It's not going to always work. This ain't going to be my be-all end-all, because I got so much more to share that I'm going to eventually have to get paid to share it and to teach it in order for it to be worth it. Because finding time to do stuff, you know, time is an illusion, right? But our bodies need time. We're stuck in these flesh bags, and our bodies and our organs need sleep to be able to do what it's supposed to do in order for us to live in this 3D world, you know. And it's very crazy because they make it hard. It's getting harder and harder to be able to do that. You have to cut certain things out of your life, and there's a lot of people that have tons of shit they don't need, you know, and it's all the energy gets sucked up by it, you know. It's fucking crazy. It's programming, and I think the heads know what they're doing. If they don't, then fucking whip them with a dumbstick. But really, it's all been pre-programming, you know, since we were fucking in the womb. It just really sucks when you see family treating each other like they're not family, like they're enemies. It's so weird to me. I don't like it. I don't hang around with my family enough to get into all that. And plus, we're a lot older, and you know, I think sometimes the addictions that we do carry that aren't that great for us can have a huge effect on how we resonate with people as well, how we look at people and see them. I mean, you know, the most I do is I'll take my THC meds, and you know, I will go to shows and hang out with people that are drinking. Never really want to drink though, because I'm right where I need to be at that time. I'm right at that positioning of my meds where they're just right where they need to be, and I can stay in the moment. And I have moments all the time, no matter who I'm with too. Like, I can, when I say moments, I'm talking about those aha moments where just shit seems clicking, and it's been clicking a lot for me lately. And I think it's just for the fact that I've upped my game on my daily maintenance. I have more goals set for myself that I am slowly reaching and progressing towards. I think that has, once you know, it's like having a job, you know. It kind of, if it fills a purpose, but then later on, as you know, you evolve in the working life, you see how much they're just fucking, it's like American slavery is what because nothing's balanced out in this place, you know. As far as finances go, nothing is balanced here. You know, the poor stay poor and the rich stay rich. That's not much of a good balance in my mind. So, you know, there's no equality in that. And it's And I think it messes up the energy. But yeah, I just kind of want to talk about that because I know there's some people going through that, and I know there's some people about ready to get married, and all kinds of uncertainties through some of my friends, and it's like I'm trying to help people work through that because I've been a lot of situations I've been in, and have experienced the feelings and everything, and how to detach that emotion from those feelings. How do you separate those so they're not affecting you in that moment? I mean, not to be perfect at it, not to never feel pain. I'm not talking about let's not feel pain ever, and just because that keeps me from living. I have to feel pain. I have to have experiences. That way I can sharpen my skills, and I can also share the situation so people feel like they have somebody to relate with, and it makes the moments and it makes the conversation what it needs to be in order for people to just switch up perspective for a minute and be like, oh fuck, I am more free than what I realized, but I am imprisoning myself with fear of change, with fear of not knowing. I have a few friends that like to know everything, and I gotta tell you, they struggle. They struggle a bit because they get caught up in the wanting to know, and then they're trying to figure out how to figure out things, and and not saying it's a bad thing at all. It's amazing. These are beautiful people. These are smart people, and these are people that have a lot of freaking power, energy wise, and can make things happen. They make things happen. They've actually been my motivator to keep doing what I'm doing and enhancing as I go, as this so-called time goes by, so they've been really great motivators, and that's how I know that they are gonna be very successful in whatever they choose to do with their lives, because they have no choice but to. I mean, you can say you have a choice to fail or you have a choice to succeed, but I feel like when you have so many of these experiences that might have seemed like failures, after a while, your time has come to actually experience a little bit of happiness and be able to see that you can do whatever you put your mind to, or what you more or less. I would take the mind out of it, because I know with us, we are programmed through the mind, so we are still going to the head versus going to the heart. When you go to the heart, it kind of cuts off the programming. That's what I've felt in the last 10 years of practicing that, is that I am less programmed. I am more open to stuff when I'm coming from the heart. And when I go into anything with my brain, it's a done deal. It's over with. I don't succeed very well in things I want to do, because it's a pre-programming saying that I'm not enough, never was enough, and never will be enough. That's what I get out of our programming that we have been fed for decades and decades. I'm seeing it for what it is. This veil has been lifted, and that's why I keep on learning how to do different things and exercise my energy work as much as I can, because the more I practice, the better I get. I progressively get better. I never get perfect, but I progressively get better. As far as what it does for me, it's mind-blowing. And as far as what it does for other people when they're actually open to it, because a lot of people think they're open to stuff, but they really aren't. Because to be open, you got to put some work in. I got a handful of friends that are really open to energy work, and you can really, if they're feeling down, I know how to do whatever it is I'm moved to do to help them feel better for that moment, creating those moments. Back in the day, when all there was paper pictures instead of digital stuff, you only broke those out when you're about to create moments, or we're trying to create moments. Now we got digital, and we got the phone, which is really great, because sometimes when I'm in a moment, I can actually snap a picture and share it. But knowing that some moments are just meant for me or whoever I'm with, and not meant to be shared because it's a special time, but to be able to at least talk about it. This year has been a lot. I learned a lot about family. I learned a lot about friends. I've learned a lot about the friendship and the love I carry for myself. Even though it might not always, on the outside, it's pre-programming. So you really don't know who you're talking with or who is really what until some time goes by and maybe a little shit goes down to see how people respond and react, because initially that's the only power we truly have as far as the 3D world's concerned, is our reactions to situations. That's our power right there within that. But also, as time goes on, I've noticed my morals have seemed to change, and I've put up more boundaries, and I've had to do stuff that was difficult to do, but I did it because I knew it was going to be for my better being. Irregardless what the other party was doing, I couldn't sit there and kill myself with them. Even if they appreciate it or not, I got my boundaries. If it's taking too much from me, I just can't do it, It's cool, and I got a lot of friends that recognize that about me, and they know how to be with me and talk to me, and it's really nice. So, and I consider them my family, They're the lesser of the two evils, the lesser that judges. It's so weird how family nowadays seem to just judge. And I'm not talking everybody's like that, but it's just some things that I've seen, and it just blows my mind. I've seen people that have everything talk to each other like shit, and I've seen people that have barely anything be like the most humble and kind people. And I guess sometimes that's what it takes in order to see the real. You have to get everything that you thought was so precious to you or whatever and have it get taken away in order to see what's really going on. Because we get up in our shit like this and we can't see what's really going on, You're just like, your eyes are stuck like this far. I can see an inch. And that's not getting the big picture. And when you can't see the big picture, it makes it even harder to know what the hell to do to make these frequencies heighten, because you only see so far. And that's based upon ego and closed-mindedness. One and the same, ego and closed-mindedness. I still get scared to try new things. Like I've been asked to go up on a mountain on a board and go down it, and I am, it's not necessarily that I'm mentally scared, even though I am, but it's like my ass gets hurt. It's like, what do I do then? Is that what the cards are showing? I need to go on a mountain and get hurt and have like this experience? I really don't want to do that. I'd probably much better get run over by a semi and die through the whole thing than have to go through that. But, that's me. I'm an extremist sometimes. So yeah, I'm going to go hang out with my boy Carl, another drummer out of Ogden, Utah. Really good musician. Going to go watch some metal bands play tonight and get to go jam with Louisa tomorrow night. I hope people that have seen the recent videos and maybe, I don't have any expectations, but maybe if you watch the videos from bottom to top, like if you're into the music we're playing and listen how it's been evolving, it's really been cool, because it's really easy when you're new to just jam all the time and come up with these different riffs, and sometimes they're the same riffs, but you can piece them in, that's what we've been piecing stuff together without really talking about it, just playing, and I think when it sounds really good, and it's really good, it just kind of resonates, and your body remembers, the muscle memory kicks in. So, but yeah, be good to your family. I'm not the best with my family. I have a lot of boundaries and stuff because because their belief system is crazy to me, but I don't judge them for it, and I don't think any less, and I still love my family, but I just can't be around the frequency it brings, and that's the boundary. I think maybe that's other people's boundaries when they can't stand to be around somebody because they think differently. You know, maybe that's a boundary they didn't know they're throwing down, but you know, I just seen weird shit when like people invite you to their house and then you get there and they want you to leave because they thought that maybe you were this or that, or was gonna expectations. And it's just, it helps to get grounded. All this work that I've been doing is really important, I think, for people to, you know, continue to thrive. As long as you're in this 3D realm, what can we do? You know, what practice is going to bring the best, you know, perception for me? So that's all I got for this evening. I hope you guys have a good Thursday night. I'm going to go hang out and unwind. I got a long weekend ahead. Go tomorrow, be nice, go practice with Louisa. I might stay in Draper and get a good night's sleep, because tomorrow I got plans to go to the Canifest in Salt Lake and then go see one of my favorite punk bands, Cargo Cult. What's up, brothers? Always love those guys. Go see them, and then I got a room for Saturday night instead of having to sleep in the car. Kind of give myself a break, a night's break from that. See, I'll probably stay in Draper Friday, so I have 2 nights of sleeping on a bed, being able to stretch out. You know, I need to do that stuff for me because my body really doesn't resonate with being cramped up in my leg. You know, during the summer it was all right, except for the mosquitoes would bite my ankles. I could stretch out the window, but then I wake up with a bunch of bites all over my legs. So it was, you know, dealing with Mother Nature, and it's a very interesting process what you sometimes have to go through. Not like it's super duper horrible or bad. It's just, oh, one of those things, you know, another day in paradise. So I just keep doing what I do and to learn how to do it better than I did it yesterday. So it's a good motivator for me because I've seen the results of this so-called magic. It's really not magic, but people call it. But if you're here, thanks for tuning in. If you have any topics, put them in the, you know, comments, because I'd love to hear from people who get something from me, because I can probably get something from you if I know who you are, or we chat, or, you know, do a video together, an interview or something like that, because I'm always down to do that. Yeah, have a good night, and namaste. Allow my weirdness in me to uplift and raise the weirdness in you. Authenticity. Bless.